Madam Chair, our next witness is Mr. Jim Jones. He's the Vice President at Dixie Industrial Finishing Company and comes to us from Tucker, Georgia. And he's testifying on behalf of the National Association of Surface Finishers. And I believe you got 100 employees in your company. And kind of the perfect example of what we're trying to find out today as far as the company goes and how you're affected. Thanks for being here.
To sense head position information.
Microphone,
An accelerometer is like a digital
Thank you, Madam Chair,
level,
Ranking Member
which
Graves,
senses
committee
tilt
members.
information as the patient's
It's a great
head
pleasure
moves.
to be here and an
This
honor to be here
tilt
to
information
participate
is
in this
displayed on
hearing.
the patient's tongue in the
For almost
form of
50
an
years,
electrical
Dixie
signal,
Industrial
which
Finishing
feels
has
like a
supplied
bubble
surface
moving on
finishing
their tongue.
of services
We train
services
patients
for a
with
range of
chronic balance
industries that
disorder
provide jobs
to
and quality
maintain
of
their
life
balance
for
by
Americans
keeping
as
the
well
bubble
as
on the
products
center
for
of their
consumers
tongue.
worldwide.
This training is intuitive.
My company and nearly
On day
2,000
one,
operations
patients
like
learn
it
to
are
maintain
critical
their
links in
balance
the
simply by
automotive
keeping
and
the
other
signal in the
major
center of their
manufacturing
tongue.
supply chains.
More importantly,
Over
within
80%
3 to
of
5
U.S.
days
surface
after
finishing
patients
job shops
start training,
employ
they start to
fewer than
experience
75
improved
people,
balance even
and
after
the
the
majority
device
of
is
the
removed.
industry has less than 10
Patients
million in
perform
annual
most of the
sales.
training at home
Yes, at
during
one time
10
we did have
20-minute
100.
sessions per day.
The first of the
This
year
is
we had
important.
84.
This is an important
Now we're
feature
down to
because
54.
patients with chronic
Like other
balance
key
disorders
industries,
cannot
surface
usually
finishing
travel
plays a
to a clinic.
significant value-added role in
Early
auto
patient
parts
results
and
after
component
Brainport
supply
balance
chain.
device training are very
We use
promising.
electrochemical
For instance, a
technology
traumatic
to
brain
apply
injury
metal
patient
and
from
other
Madison,
coatings
Wisconsin,
onto literally
has now used
thousands
our
of different
device for
types of
2.5
automotive
years.
parts. Our
His
processes
physician,
make
his
the
mother,
auto
and the
components that
patient
we
all
finish
agree that
look
his
better,
recent
work better,
improvement
and
dramatically
last longer.
exceeds the gains
An
he
estimated
achieved
20% of parts on
first 13
automobiles
years after his
require
injury.
electroplating of
University
metals or
Wisconsin
related coatings.
investigators recently analyzed
Functional
data from
coatings give
26
parts
stroke
friction
patients,
reduction, wear
all of whom
resistance,
continued
corrosion
to
protection,
experience significant
conductivity,
balance
or other
disorders
characteristics.
despite
Certain
extensive
coatings are so
vestibular
critical that
rehabilitation.
for a car,
The results of the
and for
training
that
with the
matter, a
Brainport
jet or a
balance
spacecraft
device over 8
can't
weeks
work without
were
them.
quite
In
promising,
fact, one
both
finishing company
statistically and
located in the
clinically,
Madam
according to
Chair's
PI,
district
Dr. Mary
provides
Beth
surface finishing services for some of the
Brainport
most
vision device and the
sophisticated
Brainport balance
components and
device
equipment
have both
used
been
by
hindered
NASA
by
and the
limited
Department of
funding
Defense.
available to run clinical
By volume,
studies
we estimate the
necessary
automotive
to
products
demonstrate
account
the
for nearly
efficacy to the
50% of
standards
the
of the
total
medical
number
community.
of parts we
The
service.
VA could help
The
accelerate
contribution of
adoption both
surface
devices
finishing
to
to the
standard
broader
medical
manufacturing
care
value
by
chain has been
prioritizing and
estimated by
sponsoring
some to
further
approach
clinical studies within
$100
the
billion.
VA system.
The
Especially in cases
value
where the
added from the
overall
metal
target
plating or
populations
related
are
coatings
relatively small,
is often
such
higher
as
than the
people who are
value of the
blind
parts
or have
themselves.
a balance disorder related
The
to a
impact of the
traumatic brain
U.S.
injury.
automotive crisis
VA
and its
funding
ripple
could make the
effect through the
difference for those
supplier
deserving
base has been
veterans.
extremely painful
Mr.
for the
Chairman, thank
finishing
you for
industry.
inviting me to make this
Those shops
presentation
that
to the
service
committee members
automotive
today.
directly or through Tier 1 or Tier 2 suppliers are
Thank you so
currently
much.
facing the worst downturn we have seen in our lifetimes.
Gotta get my list
As
here.
manufacturers, our economic livelihood depends on the health
Next
of our
we'll have,
automotive and industrial customers. It comes down to basic economics. When our customers suffer, we suffer.
get
And
my
the
list
steady
here.
jobs and benefits we provide for over 100,000 American workers in the
Broker?
finishing industry
I'm sorry.
are disappearing at an alarming rate. It's estimated that the finishing industry has shed approximately 30,000 jobs nationwide just in recent months. Automotive is not the sole driver, but a significant factor. Dixie Industrial Finishing Company serves a relatively diverse customer base. Our current revenues are just under 20% automotive. Our sales have dropped from $8.5 million annually last year to a projected $5 million for 2009. As I said before, we reduced our workforce by 35%. But many job shops in the auto supply chain have seen sales decline by as much as 70%. These are typically well-managed, quality-driven, and customer-focused companies. Yet they face a near or certain disaster that has absolutely nothing to do with their ability to drive a successful business. They've responded to massive production slowdowns by their large automotive customers by cutting shifts, scaling back work weeks. Some have slashed every cost they can actually manage and are holding on until the crisis is over. Others have filed for bankruptcy.
Nationally,
in the meantime, Chrysler's restructuring plans and GM's pending plant slowdowns create major uncertainties for the finishing industry of the future. There are several immediate challenges faced by small auto suppliers that need to be addressed. First, banks are not lending money. Very few, if any, small finishing job shops are able to get financing. We have not seen our job shops successfully using the SBA 7A Guaranteed Loan Program for automotive-related programs. The program relies primarily on commercial lenders which aren't financing projects for automobile-related projects or for manufacturing. Even with SBA guaranteeing, I was told yesterday by one CEO in the industry that he asked for an SBA loan program at a major bank. The bank said it was not lending to anyone whose exposure is greater than 25%, even with the SBA guaranteeing 90% of the loan and zero fees. Other federal assistance in the form of loan guarantees or aid has not been accessible to job shops. The program out of the Treasury that guarantees or insures receivables for suppliers of GM and Chrysler limits aid direct to suppliers of GM and Chrysler. Some of my colleagues in Detroit were enthusiastic when we first heard about the Energy Department's problems. Associations outside counsel reviewed the eligibility criteria that will have hurdles to participate. We're not aware of any company in the finishing industry that is participating in the program. We've outlined a few recommendations in our written testimony that respond to the increasingly higher operating costs of the finishing industry, tax incentives for all manufacturers to invest in energy efficiency and environmental control, the problems that we face on the manufacturing front are repeated price concession demands from OEMs to the auto supply chain, the high structural costs of doing business in the U.S., offshoring to Asia and other low-cost countries, and unfair trade practices and currency manipulation by some of our trading partners. The global economy has changed. The supplier base of the automotive industry and U.S. manufacturing. To illustrate this point, my company has been forced to replace 100% of its sales dollars in the last 10 years. This means that no matter how excellent our quality and service are, no matter how lean we've become through automation and continuous improvements, no matter how competitive we price, our industrial customers and opportunities continue to disappear. In light of our challenges, we recommend to the committee our broader agenda for helping finishers and other small manufacturers invest, innovate, and help create jobs for American workers. I've included this material in my written statement. I'm sorry for running over. In the South, we talk a little bit slower, but thank you for the opportunity.